everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Fintech Fridays. I have a repeat returning guest. Joining me today is Katherine Campbell. Hello, Katherine.
Hello, Brian. So nice to see you.
Yeah, it's so I think you would join me maybe almost a year ago on the same podcast and had an awesome chat. We've also been collaborating together on a book that's going to be coming out soon, the Rethink Everything about being a next gen loan officer, and your chapter is pure fire. It's so great. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
that.
Very exciting project. I mean, what a massive collaboration across some really big talent in the industry. So honored to be part of it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's amazing. You're 37 people collaborating. It's a who's who of experts in our industry. So I'm excited to get it out in the hands of the people that need it most, which is the frontline loan officers that are facing off with the next generation consumer right now.
That's exactly right. It is a whole new world in so many ways, right? So you have this sort of evolving industry because the technology is so quickly evolving. Then you have the evolving, clientele, right? Because that generation is right on the cusp of like ferociously entering the market. And then we have this evolving market. The actual financial market itself seems to be taking some massive turns here. So it's tough to figure out where to land and where to start every day. And I think something like that book, great resources where we're all diving in together and recognizing this is bigger than any one company, any one technology, that we are the people of the future of this industry. We get to be the people to figure out
Yeah.
how it works. So it's, exciting, but challenging times.
And I'm comfortable that we have the people to bring some of the answers, right? But
That's right.
we didn't come here to talk about that. You had a nice little segue. So we have the evolving market, the evolving consumer. There's also the evolution of work that's kind of happening right in front of us, and that brings us to Leopard Job, your new your new baby, right?
That's right.
This new thing that you're bringing to market. Why don't we talk about what Leopard Job is and how it came to be and what you're trying to do there?
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah. So Leopard Job is really a conversation about what I call the work revolution. And that we are not just in a work revolution because now we can be remote employees, right? Which is a pretty big revolution in of itself. We're in a revolution
Yeah.
because we have the capability, thanks to technology, thanks to the evolution of AI. These are not scary things. These are wonderful things that make us so much more efficient, so much more capable to not be tethered to an office every day, that we really can start to redefine the scope of our lives. And when we say we don't have time to do something, for instance, we quite literally today have more time than we did a couple of years ago commuting into an office, right? We quite literally do. And so Leopard Job is the conversation that, try to get your life to fit into work instead of constantly being tied to one company, and that really beck and call of whatever your job entails.
So I have to ask, how how did the name come about?
So I should have said that first, really
No,
glad.
no,
So,
no.
so Leopard Job is find your spot in the new world. That's really what it's about. Is that some people today, we talk about even the job reports numbers that have come out, and though they seem to be good, there's certainly a lot of debate on how real they are, based on the fact that people are actually going out and finding additional sources of revenue, right? And some of it may be just because they can. I mean, if I'm really going to be home every day, and I love dogs. You see I call them my little, jungle animals running around here. If I'm going to walk them every day at lunch anyway, well, even at my level, why don't I get paid to take a couple of more? It makes me
Yeah.
have to get out of the house. It makes me committed to my neighborhood. It's a great service for older people here that maybe can't get out and walk their dogs, and I'm making a little extra money. So those sorts of opportunities people are really capitalizing on. And then there's other times where, because of massive layoffs, particularly in technology, that they are taking these three opportunities, if it's Instacart and Rover.com and Uber and certainly restaurant work or whatever it might be, so that there's 3 or 4 jobs that keeps the bills kind of getting paid, right? Keeps things sort of going, but it's not exactly that one big role like we're used to
Right.
having. So it is because of technology that we can go do Instacart, that in a moment we can have a second job. It is because of the shift in the industries across the board, but certainly mortgage, that as executives, we can look at additional opportunities that help expand our abilities to do more of what we want to do. For instance, I am now a fractional CMO for Shape software, right?
All
Love
right.
Shape. I'm excited. Former client, really, as far as I'm concerned, the absolute best product in the market, bar none. Bring up a CRM, bar none. And I believed in it so much. We were talking about it, and I said, let's like raise the bar, because the quality of your product is higher than maybe some of the marketing that you've been able to produce. And they said, come on over and do it for us. Well, that enables me to stay with Leopard Job, right? So that I can really keep doing what I want to do while I'm growing this conversation, but do what I do really well, which is, marketing as an executive. So to me, this is a perfect, I am the living example of what the future of work should look like.
And I think, in the mortgage industry, obviously people that are probably watching our episode are mostly in our space. So we're all painfully aware of the market we've been in, and the resulting displacement that has occurred. And I wonder, thinking to the next cycle, because we are a cyclical business, thinking to the next cycle, instead of staffing up with all these full-time resources, do I, as a business owner, as a lender, kind of take the fractional approach and stack up, 4 marketing resources that are also doing marketing, for 3 other companies, or whatever that looks like? It's
Right.
as interesting and beneficial as it is on your side, on the the employee side. I think it could be equally, if not more, beneficial for the employer to have a model like that.
Completely agree. You get the opportunity to have, very highly experienced executives. I've been doing this over 25 years. I've been in digital marketing almost the entire time that I've been in marketing. I had the fortune of kind of growing up my career in San Francisco. And that's a great benefit, especially to a technology company. But the need isn't there to be, there 24/7, right? Doing this.
Right.
So it's not as if fractional work is really just, an outsource. I need this one white paper. I need this one press release, right? Or what's
Yeah.
our initiatives this week? It is a true partner that you have, where that person functions to the level of the agreement, and the terms, um, beyond your need to really have to manage that process of whatever it is, a CFO. Some people don't have a need for a full-time CFO, right?
Right.
So these are just, great times to, as we say in the book, rethink
Yeah.
everything we know about work in general.
Well, what's really cool about it is the fractional part of it. It's not like you're only going to be giving a fraction of your 25 years of experience. You get the whole package, right? And so, to your point, never has it been better, I think, for companies to have highly talented, highly experienced, highly expert people do things for the company that otherwise you would have hired, a full-time CMO in this case. So I love the concept. It's we're FinLocker, we're a small company, and so we, it might be something that we need to think about, is in different capacities. Do we need a CFO, as an example? And
Right.
is there a role, or is there somebody that can come in and fill that role, but do it for 2 other or 3 other companies at the same time? Super
That's right.
interesting.
It is, and Anthony Gutierrez, who's the CEO of Shape, is just, a highly intelligent person, but he really gets it that he created this product, right? He's very passionate about it. It is really next level capabilities in the space. But he realizes everybody else doesn't stay up at night and get up in the morning because of Shape, right? He
Right.
recognizes where the enthusiasm, is going to be limited based on, the skill set and let's just be honest, pay structure and
Yeah.
capability, right? So that's just like, even if you're not a level of a true executive, if you can find fractional opportunities in sales, let's say, maybe technology sales could be fractional, because our minds haven't really worked that great with work for a long time, right? So,
Right.
in fact, Leopard Job, I have a platform that I call the work platform, WORK. meaning that work is no longer a four-letter word. And that's really how we thought of it. Oh, I gotta go to work. I hate work.
Yeah.
And that is wealth, opportunity, responsibility, and kindness. And
Oh,
when we rethink our engagement, even at a company, about being kind with each other, that we look at opportunities, across, instead of being so siloed because we're not competing for budget or whatever it is, we really can look at, a much more objective and instead of so subjective, and a creative workforce that really hasn't had the freedom to be so creative because of how disgruntled people have been with their
yeah.
jobs. So it really is beneficial all the way around.
Yeah. The more I think about it, the more it makes total sense. And from an individual's perspective, it gives you insurance,
Yeah,
right, against, or it hedges your your income across
right.
multiple streams versus being solely reliant on one stream. And if that stream goes away, then
That's
you're
it.
scrambling. It
That's
totally makes
exactly right.
sense.
That's right. And still, that R in the work platform is responsibility. And that really, has been sort of lacking on both sides as far as I'm concerned. That so many employers have believed, your responsibility, you're an at-will employee. If I say come in, you're coming in. If I say, regardless
Yeah.
of if it's, I literally talked to someone the other day who said, I am now required to commute into downtown Charlotte, or uptown Charlotte, we call it, sit at an office that is owned by this company, but no one on my team is in Charlotte. So I sit by myself for 8 hours a day and do what we're doing right now. And then I leave and commute in the traffic back home. And
It's
I'm
insane.
ready to quit my
Yeah.
job, right? It's absolutely insane. On the flip side of that, I really find that employees have gotten a little out of line with what they're expecting is the responsibility of a company, that your mental health should be a benefit, that, the amount of benefits and time off and paid, um, everything, right, is just a little bit extraordinary for the value of most roles. If you really stop and think, based on what I do, how much money is made at the company for the product that's either being sold or the service that's being offered, and the number of, sheer volume of people and compliance and regulation and attorneys, right, and everything that a business has to extend, is it really feasible that they be putting out, by the way, real money for mental
Yeah.
health benefits, let's say? Well, if you have those issues, it's likely because your life is not in order, and work might just be one of them. So get your work in order, and you take control and responsibility of yourself. And so this is the same way with fractional work. It is my responsibility. Yes, it is not a full-time role necessarily, but there are days, particularly since I recently started, that's all I can think about all day
Yeah.
long.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
incredible we can do this and we can do this, right? So they've got a partner in me, and I'm going to be responsible to what it is that they would expect. And so I think this is a two-way street, is my point, that the
Yeah.
whole relationship between employers and employees needs to change. And we just need to work together to do that. It's not going to be a top-down approach, and it really needs to stop being this bottom-up approach that I will let you know when I'm coming to the office. I will let you know when I feel like working today,
Yeah.
type of conversation.
So do you think we ever would have gotten here if we didn't have COVID?
You know, um, I've heard it throughout the industry, and I really do believe it's true. I think Julian Hebron said this first that I heard it. We took 5 years of, growth and advancing this industry and condensed it to 5 months. When we started
Yeah.
doing the digital mortgage, had to send the link. I mean, that LO having to send the link, right? So I would say not this fast would we have gotten here. The difference is you still have that incoming generation who is less tolerant and more aware of their options. So remember, when we do something, particularly now that we're becoming a truly digital capable product, right? Not everyone is utilizing all those capabilities, but it
Right.
is really there and available. As we are start to utilize them, the expectation of what you can do, how easy it is to do it, and the response you get back, right? Marketing automations, confirmations, ease of use, mobile friendly, these types of expectations have already been set by other industries. We're one of the last to do this, right? So if I can open up my bank account online very easily, if I can order my Amazon in between opening my bank account online, if I can do everything easily, that is the expectation of this industry. So I do believe we would have gotten there. I think there would be fewer of us up for the competition if we didn't try to kind of have to do it as an entire industry.
When you described mortgage being late to the game, pizza is ahead of us, for God's sake.
Yes,
you,
exactly. That is like sad.
you could track your pizza getting made on your phone. It's crazy.
I mean, I lived in Dubai for a few years. And so remember, Dubai is actually my age, is about a 50-year-old country, right? It's very new. And so when they say, God, there's no guns in Dubai and there's no drugs there and everything's so technically advanced. Well, yeah, I mean, they just started a country, right? I mean, they didn't have this 250 years of civil war and living hell and, all these issues that we've been having. So if you were to start a company from scratch today, you likely wouldn't be adopting old legacy systems. You'd be getting
Right.
state of the art. You don't have clunky, mature and likely outdated client data that you're trying to figure out between, what is the next journey to put these guys in versus people who have just recently filled out a lead form with you. So, we're in a kind of a conundrum and a luxury that we have been around for a long time. So our databases should be relatively large and we should have a large pool of people. But look what's happening, right? April 1st, is it, with the TCPA
Yeah.
changes? If people don't adopt the most modern and advanced technology partners, not just capabilities, but partners like Shape, who, Anthony Gutierrez knew a year and a half ago that this was coming. He's already built his backend for compliance regulation. It's not a reactive approach. It should be a proactive approach. And if you get the right partners, you really can keep thriving very quickly to meet that customer expectation.
So I have one more question around kind of work, right? So think about you and I when we joined the workforce.
Yeah.
I know I did. I went to an office every day,
Mm-hmm.
and not only did I learn my job, but I learned how to be a teammate in this business because, you're sitting in a office with 30, 40, whatever the number of people. I'm kind of worried about the generation that started, in COVID in the workplace.
Mm-hmm.
Um, are we at risk with some of their skills just not getting fully matured and developed because they've done this, what you and I are doing, or is this just the new face-to-face that we're all kind of living with?
That is such a great question. And I think it is top of mind for a lot of executives. The world of work is not changing, it's changed. It's changed. Okay. What we need to do is manage that change. And that is where when we say, we can't have culture anymore because no one's in the office. We don't get to have donut Fridays, and all the things we used to do. Well, how you design this new change is your culture. And these people, for better or for worse, and I've got some of my children are these people too.
Yeah, me too.
That they are so collaborative. They hardly can pick out a toothbrush without taking a picture and saying, should I get the Colgate or the Crest? I mean, you know what I mean? So their ability to reach out, seek feedback, be collaborative, take others into consideration is really more second nature to them than the days when I started work. I was putting on pantyhose and wearing suits to go downtown San Francisco with, this was, I got to watch that evolution when startup came along and people evolved into, blue jeans and t-shirts. I couldn't believe people were walking around in a t-shirt, and for a lunch meeting. I couldn't believe it. So, we have seen some evolution in our lives. It's more dramatic, but it is not maybe going to happen. We are not wondering if we're going back to the office. It's over. It's changed. If you haven't taken control of it and sort of have trained a middle manager, right? So middle management, I think this layer is more important. Remember, we used to get rid of all the middle management?
Oh, yeah.
Just too much management, too many layers. What does happen with this junior colleagues is that they don't necessarily know how to structure their time. And if we remove time, which is a whole Leopard Job thing, take time out of the equation. Forget the 40-hour work week. Don't worry if I sat at my desk at 8 o'clock in the morning when I'm in my house and I still want to cook myself breakfast. Okay.
Right.
Be worried that you need these 3 reports and you need 15 calls made this week. All right. So you create actual, productivity and tasks that can be checked off, and you expect them in due dates. And that is how that middle management, because we wouldn't as senior management have time to get to that level,
Right.
can sort of be useful again and help these guys learn how to be efficient. And don't worry about collaborating. They'll do it.
You brought up the visual of the, taking a screenshot or even a FaceTiming the shopping for a toothbrush. I watch our team, and we're pretty scattered and remote across multiple states, and we're small, but I can see the activity happening in the different threads on our team's channels. And I remember back to my, much younger days, and it's not like we all just got up out of our desk and walked, 3 rows over and bothered somebody to ask a question. You still were polite and didn't want to interrupt their work day. So I think it's just a different way that generationally, we have better tech, we have more tech, we have the ability to communicate in real time, not near real time, in real time, no matter where we are. I think you nailed it on the head. It already changed. It's been here. Now we're shaping the next, what's this next generation look like?
That's right. I was at a mortgage company a few years ago, and I was new to it. And there was this meeting, and I went in the conference room for the meeting, and no one was in there. I'm like, I can't believe everybody is late to this meeting. It was kind of a big deal, right? And then I realized it was a Teams meeting, but I'm like, maybe they all went home. I could swear I saw them earlier. Well, by the 3rd meeting, when I realized everyone was taking the meeting from their offices, right, I was like, okay, this is the culture of this company. Even though it's just the 5 of us in this meeting and we're all in this office building, we're not actually going to get in this meeting room. And that worked fine for that company. It doesn't matter. But the point is, there's no difference of that.
That's right.
In what we're doing today.
Yeah, I think back 5 years ago, before I came to FinLocker, I was at a mortgage company, and I remember meetings where 10 people would be invited to the meeting, and all 10 would come in with their laptop. The screen pops open, and you don't see their face for the meeting. Everyone's in their stuff. I'm like, is this really productive? Or is this culture? Are we really building relationships here? What's going on? So
right, that's exactly right. Exactly.
Well, Katherine, this has been awesome, as it always is when we're on screen together. Congratulations on, first of all, congratulations to Shape and Anthony. Great job, guys. You added a pro, and congratulations to you, Katherine. And I'm looking forward to us doing some stuff together, because our companies are supporting a couple of mutual relationships. It'll be fun.
That's what it's all about. Great integration opportunities. Looking forward to it.
Well, thanks again, Katherine. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll probably have to have you back at some point and go a little bit deeper on this topic. So thanks again, Katherine.
Thank you, Brian. Take care.
See you, everybody.